I started off in the Neuse River Basin, and everybody retired, or most people retired. And so one day I got a call and said, "How would you feel about doing water across the whole state?" And I was kind of doing that anyway. And before I could say yes, they said, "Okay, congratulations." And so I cover the whole state doing water quality and watershed protection work, and I'll show you kind of what we have going on, and to give you an idea of what we've got, and then happy to help you out in your counties if you've got some particular issues or want to talk about this. If you don't think North Carolina is serious about protecting water quality, take a look at some of these numbers. And I won't read down through all of this, but we're fourth in growth behind Texas, Florida, and Arizona. I'm not sure if you realize that. Maybe many of you do. If you try to drive around Wake County, you would think we are number one. Wake has gone absolutely insane with the number of people that are moving in. Our population ranks ninth, and the state, I'm told, makes annually on tax related, and income, and then of course related to water quality tourism. So that includes, you know, anything related or remotely related. Sometimes it's a stretch to water, which would include, anything from skiing to canoeing to camping to going to the beach and the beach resorts. So the state is making 25 to 30 billion a year. And so they want to protect water quality. And with all these people moving in, we have a lot more stormwater runoff. So you'll see in this presentation, I have a pretty good emphasis on stormwater management, because that's what the cities and towns have asked the extension to do. And we've done this. We do other things. We started out in agriculture, actually, but we quickly moved to stormwater because a lot of people were saying stormwater is a big problem in our urban areas. So we've got a really dynamic stormwater program led by Dr. Bill Hunt in biological and ag engineering. Some of you, I think, know him. I'm kind of on his team. I'm not in the department. I'm out in the county. We wanted it that way. So I'm closely affiliated with them, and I help them on a lot of projects because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, but I don't work for the department. I am 100% extension out in the state. I'm 100% state funded. And we spend a lot of our time training these 170 plus local governments that regulate stormwater and stormwater practices. And you'll see that acronym SCM stands for Stormwater Control Measures. A lot of these local governments have to have somebody that has our certification from our workshop training to manage and install and repair these stormwater control measures. And there are thousands of these. The town of Cary has 5,000 of these alone. Raleigh has even more. Charlotte, Mecklenburg, Winston, Greensboro, High Point. There are thousands and thousands of these, and there's an annual inspection process. And engineers are involved, as well as trained landscapers and landscape architects. And so there's a lot of people involved in these, and it is huge money, a very quickly growing industry. And so there's technical assistance needed out there, and we're working a lot with these local governments to put this in. Again, I won't read down through all of this, but Art sent me the 2021 National Institute of Food and Agriculture report from North Carolina. So we submitted these numbers last year to our federal partner. So you can read down through. The starred items are the ones I'll kind of touch on today, including and I just mentioned the cities and counties that require our stormwater training for these inspectors. We've trained over 4,000 people within that program. And we've done a lot of stream bank repair workshops. And this is kind of unique to Western North Carolina, because we have a lot of these environmental partners in cities and towns and counties that really like our stream bank repairs out there. And it's a beautiful part of the country, and they want to protect those streams. We don't have that here in Raleigh. The Neuse River is an afterthought and just kind of a open channel where all the stormwater goes. But in Western North Carolina, of course, it's different. People have an affinity for that water. So that's a good thing. Number of feet stabilized, and you'll see some numbers that we came up with. I'll show you how I came up with those numbers. We've developed a spreadsheet that agents, and I've shared this around, we've developed it over the last 15 years, and it puts numbers to some of the work that we do. So, success stories and everything else that we produce. I wanted to mention, and I know Seth is involved in this as well, and I am too on one of the teams. There was a survey that was sent out. When was it, Seth? Last year, I recall, 106 agents responded. And I'm sorry, did you want to say something, Seth? I was actually. No, you're good. I moved on. Sorry about that. Well, Seth is involved, I'm involved, and we have, as a result of that survey that was sent out, we have 4 new extension water quality resource teams, and this involves agents and specialists. And here are the 4 groups: ag drainage, urban water management. So we're going to call that stormwater. And you can see some of these. And I, by the way, I can give Kelly a copy of this presentation. If any of you would like to have this, I can send this to you so you can kind of take a look at this or use this if you like in your programs there. There's a residential and agricultural water group, and that's Deanna Osmond. Deanna, if you know Deanna, she's with Soils. She is on what I guess the department calls phased retirement. So she's still working, but it's part-time. And I guess that gets phased out over a number of years. So that's something within the department that they do. So, but she's still active. And there is an aquatics group that's led by Mike Birchall with biological and ag engineering. So you can see some of the subjects that are being handled there. And I'm going to give you just a real quick summary of why stormwater is important. So you see pre and post stormwater hydrology. This is what I want you to pay attention to. We have, in a typical pre-development, about 10% runoff. And of course, this is averaged and very general. But as you build on that same piece of land, basically the runoff increases between 5 and 10 times. So you can see why stormwater is an issue. It doesn't get filtered, not as much goes into the ground to replenish aquifers. So that's an issue. If it rains an inch on a square foot, that's 0.63 gallons. And I know some areas in Western North Carolina, you get a lot more rain than the average. But if we're talking about 50 inches of rainfall a year on that 1 square foot, that's a brute trash can. So I spared no expense on this graphic. As you can see, there's my trash can with my name on it. So that, I tell people, and this blows people's minds, if it rains an inch on a square foot over a year, you got 30 gallons of water to deal with. And that's why it's tearing up all these streams. And that's why we do these stream bank repairs. Just generally looking across North Carolina, if you're in an area that has a color associated with it, you're impacted by some type of stormwater regulation. And you can see Western North Carolina, you've got a lot going on there. So again, won't go into all that detail, but you can look down through there. I mentioned Wake County. Did a survey in Wake County, and stormwater management is by far the #1 priority there. But they are building houses at an incredible rate. Our housing values were great until interest rates kicked up. I'm not sure how they're doing now, but there's a lot of people moving to Wake. We kind of focus on these 4 or 5 areas: training professionals. We offer these certification workshops. The big one is the inspection and maintenance workshop. A phase 2 stormwater workshop I'll mention because Waynesville just this week has invited me out to do a phase 2 training, which we've done in the past, to train their town staff, which is a requirement with the stormwater rules, and then our stream repair and restoration workshops. So here I am in my native environment. Says a lot. This picture speaks volumes, Seth. But stormwater control measures, all stormwater is slowing it down, spreading it out, soaking it in. That's all it is. If you look at a landscape, vegetated swales, rain gardens, rainwater harvesting, conserving natural vegetation, all this works. So if it rains an inch on this property, not a whole lot of runoff occurs. So we get in trouble when we pave it all over and, of course, send this down on the neighbor. So this is what low impact development or conservation development is all about. We work with specialists and agents all over the state. There's a lot of research going on in stormwater, and we try to work with counties to put some of these practices in. These are some of the things that we've done across the state. I don't really have a youth component for the program, but I help with Master Gardeners, and we've done some 4-H stuff as well and youth stuff. So in terms of workshops, we've done about 27 to 30 workshops in the last 6 years across the state, inspection and maintenance. And again, over 4,000 people trained in that. We do residential training too. That's more of a professional level training. So we do trainings on 2 levels, professionals as well as homeowner and master gardener and gardener level. That would be a residential rain garden and rainwater harvesting, and also the stream bank repair workshops. That's professional. We get a good mix there. We also have homeowners and landowners and farm owners that come to that too, that want to know how they can fix their streams. And so we have a real diverse group. We have professional engineers that are fixing pervious pavement out there. So there we are out trying to figure out what's going on with this pavement, as well as schools and master gardeners, rain gardens, and doing a demonstration out of the school. Down on the coast, putting rain gardens in with some of the Coastal Alliance folks. And we have a big community college project where we're putting in these rainwater harvesters because their irrigation budget was out of sight. So we put some of these tanks in. Just an example of some of the stuff that we have going on. This is just a kind of a snapshot of what we have going on. It mentions the stream bank repairs, wetland workshops, the smart drawdown for rainwater harvesting in Boone. We have a really good partner in Mike, who's the stormwater manager in the town of Hendersonville. He's had us out several times to do stream bank repairs and stormwater control. He's a great partner, does a super job helping us set up. We can just basically go there and teach. And so we do a lot of work out in Hendersonville and Asheville. And Land of Sky, we've worked with over the years as to the regional council. I have that upcoming Waynesville Phase 2 training coming up here. That's coming up in the following weeks, where we're going to teach a few components of the stormwater rules to the town staff, because that's a requirement. And this is part of our partnership with Waynesville there. I think this all came about because we all met one day at Frog Level Brewing, which you haven't been to. It's a great place to have an extension meeting. It's right on the river, and there's some stream bank repair that's going on there besides beer. So it actually is work related. So these are some of the things we're going to go over with the town staff. And Waynesville, a great town to work with, good partners. And so we're going to go over with the town staff. We're actually going to do a little survey of their town facilities to figure out if they know about spill prevention and response plan. By the way, they love extension to come out there at the university because we're not regulatory, and I can walk around with a clipboard and I can say, that looks like a spill, or is that a problem, or you got runoff there and maybe you ought to look at that, or I didn't see that, but maybe you ought to fix that. And they can do that before they have the state come in and actually do the full-blown site visit, where they will actually report that as part of their stormwater permit. So this is something we've done over the years, and the towns really respond well to it. So this is, again, a town meeting that we're going to have, town workshop rather. Case studies, this is more down east, Sound Rivers. This is the River Keepers group. And we've done a lot of work with the River Keepers down east. This is the Neuse, the Tar, the Cape Fear, and we've done some projects with them. They are great grant writers. and I don't have the time to do it, but they involve me in the grant, and we can go put projects in that serve an educational and a research component based on some of the grants they write. We've got a social media presence. I guess I don't spend a lot of time on this. I'm not a real Twitter or Facebook guy. I guess it's my age more than anything, but we have developed some videos, and these are great resources. The town of Cary has a program called Rein It In. This is known by several names throughout the communities in North Carolina. Some call it Raleigh, it's called Rainwater Rewards, where they actually fund urban projects to help control stormwater. Durham's is called Rain Catchers. In your area, the larger towns, I think Charlotte and Mecklenburg has what they call a stormwater utility program. I don't know if any of your larger communities, typically larger communities, have this, where they actually have money available for people for taxpayers that can propose projects and put in water harvesters, put in native plantings, put in rain gardens and fix streams. So this is something that's coming about. And the town of Cary is 4th or 5th size largest city in North Carolina. So they've got some money, and we tapped into that and we made these videos. And these are great because I can send this out and say, here's how you fix a stream, or here's how you do a rain garden. And I can give you links for anybody that's interested in this. Again, in the middle of the state and then down east, we've done some work with some schools and the River Keepers Alliance. I'll kind of go through this. Stream bank repair, let's spend a minute on this, because this is a really popular education program out your way. Typically, the landowner or the local municipality buys the materials. We come in and teach, and then we have the workshop attendees actually do hands-on installation. So this was a stream that we fixed. I'll go through a couple of these examples here. We've done a lot of these workshops over the last 10 or 15 years. In Western North Carolina, we've done 10 or 11 of these. We've certified about 1,000 people. And what people really like is the hands-on experience with seeding and the erosion control matting. We did one in Hendersonville. We've done them in Asheville. We've done several in Hendersonville. In that area, we've stabilized almost 10,000 feet of stream with these. So we look for small fixable stream sites. And you can see the one in the upper left. We don't necessarily have to have equipment there to do this. This could be done with hand tools. And you can see what we did with the matting. We kind of rake it out, we seed it, we straw it, a little lime, a little fertilizer, some native plants. And the real, I guess, draw to this is they may have had somebody come out and say, well, we can do this for, $30,000, and we can fix it for, $2,000 to $5,000. And if we hold a workshop, we get contributors, it won't cost, that. So, but it really is dependent on how bad the problem is. Some bad problems we can't fix. Well, we're not going to be on the French Broad fixing that, or the mills, clearly. But for these little ephemeral streams in people's backyards like this one, it's real doable. That's our second most popular workshop. Probably the most popular are these stormwater control, measure, inspection, and maintenance workshops. Any agents, county directors that want to come to these workshops, you can go to this website. This is BAE, but they basically are the clearinghouse for these. If you say, I want the extension discount, you can get it and come to these. So we want to encourage agents to come to these. We have a certification program for rain gardens as well. We've done that for years. And we held one out at Seth, was that last year or the year before we did a rain garden workshop out there, Seth? Yeah. So, yeah, we were outside. It was COVID. Yeah, it was a COVID workshop. So, yeah. So we did that with some master gardeners and some landowners. I mentioned an outcome matrix spreadsheet that we've put together. Now, I'm happy to send this around. You can see the numbers get kind of big, and where these numbers come from are our stormwater control measure certification workshops. Each one of those are typically professional level engineers and landscape architects. They'll come to this, and over the years, we keep track of them. We have all their emails, and we send them out pre and post surveys, and surveys about 2 to 5 years after. And so we get the number of practices that they have put in that they say that have been improved by attending the workshop. And so the numbers can get pretty big, and the values here are based on the state averages for the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, and the value of those that are given to contractors in the state under their stormwater program. So we're not just pulling these out of thin air, that all these numbers are based on the value that the state tells us that improving water quality is benefiting that area. And so, to take these numbers for what they are, they're general, but it does put a value on it. And so it's large. It's just a snapshot of the upper part of this. But I'm happy to share this. This can be used for a small little backyard wetland. Now, the numbers aren't going to be very impressive for something like that. But if we've got 500 trained engineers that are putting in, 10 practices a year, the numbers can get big. And so we've got this for stream bank repair, all the major stormwater practices, and all the smaller rain gardens and rainwater harvesting and the smaller practices that homeowners tend to put in. So that's available. I can send a link to that around, and this is a community garden that we that we did as well. So that's probably enough time on that. Again, happy to come out anytime. Love working in Western North Carolina, and if there's something that I can help with, or maybe there's a good place to have one of these stormwater control measure trainings or stream bank repair trainings, happy to do it.